Hey YouTube, it's your boy Widgie here, coming out with some more Age of Empires 3 Definitive Edition. And we do have the July public update preview. It's finally here and there's so much stuff, it's kind of insane. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be just looking at the key items here. I could go through every single thing here with you guys and we're probably going to be here for over an hour. So let's break it down into the juicy bits, the bits that you kind of want to know the most. And of course, I'll leave a link down to the main notes in the description below on the video. So without further ado, let's get into it. And this is the July update and it's the PUP and there's a link to try and actually be able to play it. You just need to go into the beta version of the game. I won't go through all of it, but basically you just need to load up a different version of the game and you'll be able to actually try this out before it's released. And sometimes there will be a few changes here and there between now and when the full update is released. But let's have a look at it anyway. Here we go. And I've got to say, under the general section here for Civ Balance, there's some kind of huge things that I missed. I have sort of scrolled through this before doing this, and I've already found a few which is absolutely huge. And this is one of them right here. Here we go, guys. So the ranged infantry. So light infantry and counter skirms that had their damage against cav and shock reduced, now have their damage multipliers increased back again by about 20%. Both multipliers are now equal at ranged attacks. So this is huge. So they're basically reverting on the massive change that happened last time, which meant that heavy cav and also shock infantry like coyote runners, chimney runners did a lot more damage to light infantry because light infantry couldn't do as much damage with their ranged attack, which I thought was really good because it really punished players that would try and use mass skirms to take down heavy cav. But now they've reverted on that again. But I don't know how much they've reverted. They're saying that they've increased it again by about 20, but it's now saying both multipliers are now equal at ranged attacks. So I don't know. It's I don't know about that one, to be honest, guys. Let me know down in the comments below. Of course, anything that I go through here, I want to know your opinion. So we got stealth here. The following units move a bit faster while stealthed, which is kind of interesting, especially for certain units like the Jaguar Prowl Knight here from Aztec, the Jungle Bowman, Coyote Runners that get the ability as well with certain upgrades. That's nice. And also, this was an interesting one here, Native American build menu. So it says, adjusted the villagers build menu for Native American by building by moving the community plaza behind the wall and the town center to the last position. This change will result in houses being in the first slot as for all other civs as well, and thereby making it easy for players to switch in between native. That's actually really good, because I hope they fixed it for India, because I always remember that for India I had to change the hotkey that I was pressing for the house. So that is actually amazing. So that hopefully that means that no matter what civ you play, the hotkey for the house will be the same, so you can easily remember it. You don't have to rethink it. I really like that. That's great. Okay, let's move on. Units and buildings. Field is now built more quickly when in range of a granary. That's for the African civs. You can train native scouts now, which is kind of nuts. So basically, yeah, Aztec, Haudenosaunee, Lakota, but not Inca, can train native scouts from their TC and native embassy. And also native scouts are now going to be the answer potentially against mercenary play. So the sort of war chief civs, the Native American civs, really struggle against mercenaries. So maybe the next thing is to mass native scouts potentially at some point if you need to as well, which is kind of nice. This is another big one as well. A lot of people don't really like this change. I've got to have a look at it because they've actually changed the look of the explorers a bit different as well, so they're a bit more unique. This only affects Euro explorers, which is kind of a shame. I thought they would maybe add a few little tweaks here and there for the other civs. I've noticed that also, no, they are on there as well. Yeah, I'm just looking, but you've got the Brit here, +1 range, +2 line of sight, which is kind of crazy. Dutch can actually train envoys. I think that's the case anyway. French construct TPs faster and +1 range. I mean, that's kind of a big one there, constructing the TP faster. That could really change your opening with the French. A lot of the time you're going to be building a TP, so I don't know how fast, but that's kind of crazy. German one here, survivability for the Explorer as well. That's kind of nuts. We have Italians bonus damage against treasure guardians and pets at range and melee. Wow, That's really nice as well for the Italians. Ottos get a nice buff to their explorer as well. Of course, the spyglass has always been there. Russia get a bit of siege damage. Spain, you can train the war dogs, of course, and you get a bit of melee damage with the Swede one as well, which is quite nice. So yeah, very interesting. I don't know how I feel about this, to be honest. The way I look at it, if it isn't broke, don't fix it. You know, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I don't know. I feel like, do we need this? I like changing the skins of them, maybe making them a little bit more unique. I like that. These things, though, I don't know. Anyway, let's move on. Now, there's a huge amount of changes to all of the natives and mercenaries, guys. There's a lot of changes to the natives and mercenaries, a lot of sort of nerfs overall, a lot of them, which, you know, for some people who like to play natives a lot, is not ideal. I'm not going to go through all of these because there's quite a few here, so you guys can check that out. Technologies as well, nothing here that really grabbed me that's kind of insane. Of course, guys, a lot of these I don't actually particularly know that well. Paper cartridge I do, which you get from the arsenal. Cost has been reduced for that, which is quite nice, but the other ones not so much. Of course, you're free to look at that. Some card changes here, some sort of general or generic ones. All the advanced ones now sending like travois and wagons, which is insane. This is going to be a little bit, you know, different for maybe treaty players when you have these kind of cards as well. I don't know if there's going to be something there for 1v1 sort of supremacy players, but definitely something interesting as well. Okay, moving on to specific civs. We are going to cover these now. This is what we're going to cover in the main video, and then that is going to be it, guys. So let's have a look. Aztecs, a civ that I quite enjoy. Aronites inflicting 0.75. I think that is a reduction. They haven't put what it is, but I think because Aronites can be quite good in mass against infantry as well, that's quite a nice change. Jaguar Prowl Knight, they now benefit from combat promotions. Hang on a second. What? No. Combat promotions. So basically, when you get a kill, guys, you get a rank up, which is normally associated with the mercenaries, some of the new mercenaries and stuff like that. But Jaguar Prowl Knights. So they really want us to use the Jaguar Prowl Knights. And also the speed of them is increased. Look at that, 5 from 4.75. Wow. Warrior Priest spawn time at the Community Plaza has been increased. Okay, so obviously they still think there's an issue with the Warrior Priest stuff. Warrior Priest booming. I don't really Warrior Priest boom that much anymore. I tend to play H2, but I mean, this is a really big change. It makes Jaguar Prowl Knights definitely more kind of viable. The Kalmakak. Oh, this is huge. Oh, I actually haven't seen that. That is a real shame. The Kalmakak no longer ships a Warrior Priest. Like, seriously? What else? What are you going to be giving us then in Age 1? Like that helps us get that little bit of momentum in Age 2. If we want to play Age 2, we have that extra Warrior Priest that can give us that little bit of extra XP that we need to get those cards in at the right time. Now with Kalmakak, if it doesn't ship a Warrior Priest, I'm not going to send it. I'm not going to bother. What's the point? Like, okay, yeah, I get a slightly faster age up, but it's not worth it anymore, that card. That's a real shame. Cheap War Huts, they've just renamed it. Night Combat, moved that to Age 4. Oh, that's a real big hit as well. That Night Combat is quite a popular one. Moving that to Age 4 is going to be an issue for Aztec as well. They've got a new card here. Otsuma Citadel ships an American citadel identical to the Maya Castle. I don't honestly know what the Maya Castle is. I don't know whether it's like a fort or something. I'm not too sure. Temple of something support here now improves Coyote Runner armor by 0.5 up from 0.1. So it looks like they're wanting people to continue using more of Age 2 composition here. They're making it harder to use Night Combat, which is the Eagle Runner Knights. You get those in Age 3. So, you know, and the Kalmakak being lost. I don't know. I feel like they just want people to just continue playing Aztec Age 2. If you look at Aztec Age 2, nothing's really been affected for them. Potentially, not even really the Warrior Priest spawn, but the Kalmakak is the biggest thing, because that is a card that everyone uses. And if it's not going to ship a Warrior Priest, then I don't really want it, to be honest. Moving on. Also technologies here. Legendary Coyote Runners. Oh, that's in Age 5. Okay, a slight nerf there. So Brits, they've got their 3 settlers back. This is huge. So this is going to really make Brit just bump straight back up. So they basically took the settlers out. Now they've put it back in. I am getting a bit frustrated with this kind of putting stuff in, then taking it back out again. And, oh, God, it's really frustrating. But, 3 settlers are back. That's going to be great for Brit players. We've got the 10 pike. It's in age 3, no longer infinite, but now researches guard pikemen. Okay, interesting. The Musketeer Grenadier cards have been renamed again. Oh my god, guys. They just keep renaming these cards. It makes it more confusing. Coldstream Guards, Scott Guards, and Grenadier Guards. Right, okay. The Black Watch. It's a Glorious Revolution. The Redcoats, Knights, King's Life Guards. That's in age 4. Unique Hussar upgrade cost reduced. Okay, very good, very good. All right, okay. So Brits, pretty good overall for them. China. We've been seeing Transcendence being used a lot. It now has a cap on the healing of only 100 HP per unit, which, yeah, it's going to be a bit of a knock to the Transcendence play. I still think people will do it because you do get 3 villagers when you do build it, so it gives you good eco. I still think it will be used. I just don't think maybe not as much. Double-faced armor, popular card in age 3. It now also applies to Kashyyyks. Very nice buff there. Repelling volley, which is another popular card, increases Arquebusier and Tukanu multiply against cavalry. That's actually increased against light cavalry. That's really nice. Looking at the units, however, we do have Arquebusier base damage being reduced slightly, Flamethrower being reduced, Kashyyyk HP upgrade though, which is nice, so makes them a bit more viable. The Meteor Hammer. This is an unfortunate one because the Meteor Hammers are very good against artillery. They have the range to be able to get over and hit the artillery. That has now been reduced, and also their cost has been increased a little bit extra on coin here. The increase in the coin cost of the Forbidden Army and Black Flag Army has also been changed for that as well. The village, this is a really big one. Look at this, guys. The village HP reduction here from 2,500 to 2,000. That is 20% drop in HP. Line of sight as well, huge. 24 now rather than 32. So, this, makes it a little bit more punishable. Normally, Chinese players will put their villages further out as you sort of, expand onto the map you hunt. You can obviously garrison the villagers in the village. Now this has been reduced. It's going to be a bit more tough. The Russian consulate now sends 5 dragoons instead of 6 Cossacks. Wow, that's a big change. Damn. Okay. Can I get on board with that? Maybe. It's an anti-cav unit. That's actually pretty good for China. China do struggle with anti-cav, so actually switching that out and giving them 5 dragoons instead. I don't know if the trade-off is as good. Okay. The Russian brigade, which is from the Russian consulate as well, now sends 25 Schiavoni like infantry instead of 15 hussars. Okay, so big changes there for China. I think overall definitely is a nerf because of the Transcendence is a big one. Also, just a few on the Arquebusiers here. The Meteor Hammer is quite a used thing, and the village as well. So, yeah, China, bit of a nerf overall there for them. Dutch, we have a revolution here. Now also converts Reuters into revolutionaries. Okay. We have another new card. All these new cards flying around. In age 3, 1,000 coins sends 40 musket-armed blue guards and enables them in forts. What is it with, giving some of these civs so many, mercenary, type cards, man? I don't know how I feel about it. I'm not a huge fan of it, obviously. We've got the Ward Gelders here, renamed it. Oh, God, they keep renaming stuff as well, just make everything so confusing. I don't know why they're doing it. Red Lancers, now they're called. The previous name is now used for an Age 2 card, so just to make it even more confusing, they're going to reuse the name. Now it's 500 coins, sending 4 Swiss pikemen, enabling them in taverns and barracks for a smaller price. The Carabiners, or Carabiners, how you want to say it, unique right upgrade cost is now reduced. And then there's another Halberdier one there as well. Okay, so I don't really know for Dutch, to be honest, guys. Make of that what you will. Ethiopia. Now, don't know a huge amount about Ethiopia, but I can already see the text here, the 2 age ups. You're getting less influence with them. So that's quite a big hit, nerf to them. Also, the Tablet card amount of additional coin is being reduced, which gets sent to the mountain monasteries. Draft Oxen. I don't know what card that is. I'm sorry, guys. It's been moved to H1. The Band of Cannoneers, however, quite a popular one in H2. We are losing in Cannoneers, going from 8 to 7. The one in H3 as well, you're losing an extra 2. And the Somalis, that's a big drop as well. Wow. Okay, so yeah, real big nerfs there for Ethiopia. Nev tenure attack being reduced. However, the Shuttle Warrior, something that I mentioned on another video, damage multiplier is now changed from infantry to light infantry. So, big nerf here for Ethiopia on their Shuttle Warriors. So, unfortunately, we see nerfs all around there for Ethiopia. Nothing very positive to say for them. Let's have a look at French. The Cuirassier, the lance sort of cavalry unit. Train time has been reduced. Okay, nice little buff there. Native Scout can now be retrained, as we mentioned above. The French Revolution now counters heavy infantry instead of all infantry. Right, okay. Just having a look at... Okay, so the Royal Fencing School also improves the train time of shock infantry. Okay, interesting. And finally, technologies here. We've got the Voltigeurs, which is the unique thing for the skirms. Yep, it's now been reduced. Cuirassier upgrade has been reduced, and it's also shorter for gendarmes. And the Young Guard here now also enables Grenadier training in barracks. Some of those I don't really know myself, guys. I don't really play French that much. But it seems like they are buffing a lot of the Age 4 cards. They're really reducing the coin cost, wood cost, and the time for them to come in. What does that mean? It's scary. It scares me because it means that it's trying to encourage people to do this kind of turtley, FIE kind of play more, which I really just hate. I think it's a scourge. I can't stand the way that kind of strategy is done. And making Age 4 cards more desirable is going to encourage people to try and do that. I'm not going to say that in all the cases, but yeah. Okay, Germans. Let's have a look. Once again, another civ that I don't really play that much, so I don't really know a lot about it. Just having a quick little flick through here, guys. You can obviously read over this in your own time. And yeah, there's a few here. Like, once again, look, another unique skirmisher upgrade for the needle guns. That's been reduced. Strength increased. Rate of fire improved. Like, come on. They really want Age 4 stuff here to be better. Let's move on to Haudenosaunee. Now, a civ that I play quite a bit. It's a native civ, one of the ones that I like. So, this is kind of nuts. I think this is just cracked. What is going on here? New civ bonus. Trees last 100% longer. So that the yield from a tree is double the amount. Like, that just blows my mind. Like, India don't even have this, right? And they need wood for vills. So, think about it. When you play H2 for Haud, what do you need? You need food, and what do you need? Wood. And if you have wood that lasts double the time, you don't need to start expanding onto the map, having your vills further out. Your wood is going to last double the amount of time. You're going to be able to be sort of tight, sort of snug in your base a lot longer. So that just blows my mind, to be honest, considering that Haud is a pretty strong civ at the moment. It's not like mega strong, but it's a good civ. Anyway, town centre big buttons, and also the cost of all big buttons have now been reduced by 5%. So once again, like the Tomahawk opening that costs 500 food, it's now going to cost you 475. You might think that's not much, but trust me, when you do timings and stuff like that, that little bit of that reduction is going to help. So that's another big thing as well. Also, another crazy thing is the Aena shipment in H3. You now get you get 9 Aenas that could potentially be used. A lot of people don't tend to use the Aenas that much. But look, the 11 in H4, I don't know if this is right. Is that right? You get 20 now. That's insane. If you can get 20 Aenas in H4 from 11, that's nuts. Considering the changes to the Aena, how crazy their rate of fire is. Maybe playing Aenas in H3 could be viable. Forest Prowlers, which is obviously it's the upgraded skirm that you get. Now you get 13 from 9 in H4. You get 8 Musket Riders in H4. So once again, more upgrades to H4 cards. This is a big one. Conservative Tactics. This is a card that you use if you really want to continue playing in H2. It upgrades your infantry, but it only used to upgrade a few different types. I think it was the Tomahawk and the Aena potentially. But now it's saying this improves all infantry. All infantry. which means that potentially like forest prowlers, stuff like that, like in Age 3, conservative tactics is going to help those units, which is just mind-blowing, you know, because forest prowlers are a very good musketeer anyway. Environmentalism tree yield has been reduced, but now converts the cost of them and musket riders to wood and food. Once again, that could be viable. Environmentalism. Considering now that trees last double the time, could potentially be viable. That you switch it. Tree yield is huge, and then you just basically make forest prowlers and musket riders. Or everything's on wood food. You don't have to worry about it. I don't know. Maybe. Extensive fortifications has been renamed and merged with the war hut training. The train time reduced. Native warrior, new card here. Native warrior conscription replaces the native warriors and team native warriors with a single card. Okay, so it's 25% cheaper and 20% increase on build limit for native warriors. So you could actually play natives with Haud with the native warrior conscription. Look at that, 25% cheaper, and you get a build limit increase on them as well. Nuts. I think you could do a native play with Haud. So if you have a good map, I think you could do it. Scout infantry, move to H1, also sends one native scout. I'm not too sure what that card actually is. War hut training, okay. Fix inconsistent spellings. Okay, there we go. Oh no. Wait, what's this? What does this mean? The minimum rate of fire mechanic has been removed from the hyenas. Wait, does that mean the fire rate change has now been removed from hyenas? Okay, that's kind of huge. Not gonna lie, it's not massive. I mean, Haud was still pretty good anyway before the hyena change. I mean, this is definitely just going to help Haud overall. I think overall Haud has had a slight buff. Okay, moving on to Hausa. Draft Oxen. Don't know what that card is, I'm afraid, guys. We do have a couple of alliance age ups here. Once again, you're not getting as much influence on those. And the Imam Moroccan alliance one here fixed an issue with something or other. Anyway, Inca, another civ that I've been playing quite a bit and I've been doing quite well on the ladder. Let's have a look. Something that doesn't really make much sense to me is Inca's pretty strong, right? And we're getting a buff here straight off the bat. Queen's Festival, which is the old school Cancha Big Bun, the one you used to use back in the day, where it used to, I think it gives you 3 vils or 4, 3 or 4 vils. Anyway, the cost has now been reduced by 50 resources each. It costed, I think it cost something like 300 wood, 300 food, 300 gold. Now with this reduced, I think you could do something. I think you could do something where you potentially get that in transition, you get 3 or 4 vils, and then you continue with your Cancha boom. You could have a huge, huge kind of boom. So that's really, really nice for Inca players. The Chasque is an option against mercenaries now. So you've got, Inca has an option against mercenaries. You can chain Chasques. Chimmy runners, they have their damage against artillery has been reduced, which I think is fair. The Harakas, which are the artillery unit for Inca, and they're also good against artillery as well. Their multiplier against artillery has been increased, which is actually really nice. So they're going to be even more deadly. They have decreased the damage against cav, though, which is, of course, very fair. We have a support card here. Now adds 3 point. I don't know what support this one is. Oh, it's a Chasque support card. Increases Chasque limit by 15 up from 5. Sends 7 Chasques. This could obviously be quite good against mercenaries. Like if you need to, if you know you're going to go against mercenaries, having this card in is going to be quite good for you. Nice. Okay, moving on to India. This is quite big for India. This is going to nerf them quite a bit because they are quite a strong civ at the moment. Shipment rate. Here we go. So the shipment curve penalty is going to be increased, which means it's going to take longer for India to get their cards out. We could also see the Ottoman consular option for the Aztecs. You only get 6 now rather than 7. Dravidian martial arts, which is increasing the melee of sepoys and also Rajputs, I think. It also, we can see here that the melee damage is 20% in total now, down from 30. So that's going to nerf the Rajputs a bit there. And of course, the Mansabdar is being reduced as well. So definitely big nerfs all around there for India. Moving on to Italy, once again, I think they're a very, very strong civ at the moment. And this is great to see. A lot of these finances cards here have all been reduced. So the amount they deposit into the Lombards, they've been reduced significantly, which hopefully should stop the really, really insane turtle strat that Italian players have. I'm hoping that it does change, but we'll just have to see. And we can see here, look at this, the papal or the papal guard politician here. The amount of papal guards that you get is now only 5, not 8, which is amazing. I think they are the halberdier units, which I saw on a recent stream, actually, on Look Tom's stream. Kind of insane unit, and it's good that you only get 5 of those now. So it's really going to hopefully put them down a bit. Basagliere as well against Cav and Handshock on the stun attack has been reduced. And now, oh, look at this. The Papal Lancer here now only provides damage deflection for other cavalry. Interesting. So there we go. So good nerfs all round, I think, for Italy. We'll see how they stack up. Only one thing for Japan here. Close combat. The hit points increased to 15% from 10. Okay, so nice little buff there for Japan. And that's all you're going to see from Japan, I'm afraid. Moving on to Lakota here. Hey, my number 1 civ at the moment that I'm playing the most. Let's have a look. Axe Rider. Damage multiplier against light cav has been reverted. So that's good. So that's a buff for Axe Riders. The winter counts in age 4 has been moved to age 1. I don't even know what that card is, so I'm going to have a look at that. Of course, let me know down in the comments below, guys. 7 Council Fires. This is a really, really strong card that you can get in age 4. But look at this insane change. Decreased the amount of units to 7 from 21. And now it costs 400 coin from 750. So you can just see, with maths, they've obviously reduced it by 2/3. But have they reduced this by 2/3? I don't think they have. They've made it. It should be 250 coin, technically. If you want to reduce it from 21 to 7, the cost should be 250 coin. But it's not. It's 400. So yes, definitely a nerf on this card. I don't really use it because I tend not to get to age 4 that much. So there we go. This is nice though. I love this because I like this card. This is the big button card in age 2 that you can use if the longer the game goes on, the more Takala soldiers you accrue, and then you spend a large amount of food and you can immediately pop them. And they're kind of insane. And it's a really good sort of push that you can do in age 2. And I like the fact that this has now been reduced from 2,000 food to 1,800. So it gives that option a lot more now, which I really, really like. So yeah, I think obviously that is quite a big nerf, this card here. Don't really know about this one. Axe Rider's good. That's good. I think it's just even for Lakota, to be honest. So a look at Maltese. Obviously, one of the weakest, actually, according to stats at the moment. Let's have a look at this one right here. Civ bonus, hit points increase per shipment is now 1% for ships and artillery, 2% for everything else. Wow, that's actually really good. Did it used to be 1? Per shipment is now 1% for ships and artillery, 2% for everything else. It was always 2%. So is this a nerf? Or if it was only 1%, then this is definitely a buff. I think it's a slight nerf because of the ships and artillery, I think. I can't confirm. I can't remember if it's 2% or 1%. I'm not too sure. Carzo, Morgan's flagship, added the missing cost of 1,500 coin. Okay, wall guns. The area aura radius has been increased. It's a nice buff. No longer improves sentinels near enemy walls if the Crusader Knights technology got researched. Okay, flamethrowers in H2 now also sends an artillery foundry wagon. That's pretty damn good. I like that. That's a good buff there for H2 play. 7 fire throws, you now get 8. Very nice. So they obviously want people to use fire throws more in H2 as well, giving you the artillery foundry. The depot cost has actually been increased on this, and the build time as well. Blast radius has also been decreased. Wow, that's a shame. I think that was fine. Malta are really struggling at the moment on the ladder, and doing that, the depots are quite a good play to do, and if you know how they work, you can avoid them. So yeah, that's a shame. Fixed gun, no longer affected by the Maltese hit points bonus. That's big. That's big. I can just hear Sheikh and Harrison just crying about some of these changes. It's unfortunate. Just decreasing the pop as well. You can only get 6 of them now. And also the range is slightly reduced. Maximum distance to enemies' first town centers now been reduced. The hospital, the healing rate has been reduced. And also the radius has been reduced. However, the fire thrower now has the target lock feature. Damn. Okay, so yeah, we do have a few technologies here. Once again, really reducing age 4 cards here, guys. Wait, no, I say that. Basilisks here. It's a culverin upgrade that has been increased, but they actually inflict additional poison damage. Right, Jesus Christ. But yeah, you can see this one here being reduced. I don't know. I think that some of these are unnecessary to Malta. I think overall it is a slight buff for Malta. However, I don't know about this. If everything was 2% and they've done this, then that is obviously a bit of a nerf here. I think, honestly, Malta needed something a little bit more, and I don't know. I think the flamethrowers is a great buff. It's going to make them more viable with the target lock as well. I don't know. Maybe it's just even all round. It's just a neutral change overall. Okay, Mexico. Cards. Don't really know a lot of these guys, going to be honest with you. The veterans Salteadors here in age 3, now increasing the range by +1. Very nice, because the Salties aren't very good. Once again, another age 4 card that they're reducing, and another age 4 card that they're reducing, and they're making it quicker to come in. Like, what's going on? I don't know. Let's have a look at units and buildings. The Chinako. The damage versus hand shock infantry has been removed. That's good. Okay, that's good for me, because I use hand shock infantry a lot. But for Mexico, that is definitely a buff. Sorry, definitely a nerf. The Hacienda line of sight has been reduced. That is significant, because the Hacienda was such a great building to put out if you want to be aggressive, and it had such an insane line of sight. You could see so much. And now that's going to be quite obvious. Okay. And also the insurgent play as well now. Look at that. That is going to be an extra 50 food per batch. You can get 10 out in a batch. And now, because there's an increase of 5 food, it's going to be an extra 50 food to get a batch out. So that's also going to have effect for people that play the insurgent age 2. Let's have a look at Ottomans. Another strong civilization. Very, very sturdy. Let's have a look here. And the Abbas Gunner first. We all moan about the Abbas Gunner. Train time has been increased for them. Multipliers against light cavalry have been reduced. So there you go. There's all the nerfs that you're getting from the Abbas Gunners in this patch. Artillery line of sight has been increased and now uses the unique Ottoman skins by default. Okay, so does that mean that Falconets have unique skins or something? I don't really know what that means. Okay. I know that they're changing a lot of skins and stuff, and especially for Russia. But of course, we'll get into that when we move to Russia. Azeps, damage has been increased to 8. Okay, so they're really buffing the Azeps, but range multiplier is reduced to 3 from 4 times. Okay. The Bashibs, I think they're just the militia that you pop from the TC. Humbarachis are basically your grenadiers. Line of sight has been corrected from 15 to 17. They don't do as well against artillery. Spahi, here we go. Hidden cost increased to 400 food from 280. Bounties adjusted accordingly. Unit name has been corrected to Sipahi. Oh my god. No one's going to call it Sipahi. I mean, come on. It's Spahi. God, I tell you what, these corrections is just... I feel like it's just political correctness with some of these. It's just a nightmare. Just leave it alone. Stop making it confusing for people. So yeah, so the cost has been increased for these bad boys. So... I don't know if that means there's a 400 food one that you get for Spahis, but I don't think that replies to it. But the bounty is being adjusted, which is good as well. So it's going to give you more XP when you kill them. And the Uruks, which are the villagers, now construct TCs slower than other vills. Oh, interesting. Okay, so booming is going to be a little bit trickier. For Humbarachi, you now get 5 in age 3. Let's have a look at the technologies. Millet system. Oh, that's a big one. That's the one to increase... Vill generation. So it's going to be an extra 25 wood for that. That's quite a nerf there. The Imam, I don't really know what this is. Cost reduced to 800 food, but now only sends 100 coin I don't know what the imam is. I'm sorry. I don't know what it is. There's the Palace Intrigue card. Cost has now been increased to 2,500 food, up from 2,200. Oh, yeah, I know the Capicula Corp. That's the... I can't remember what they're called. Don't know what they're called. Fusiliers, maybe? No, I don't think they are. Okay, so that's a nerf there for them. And obviously some more Age 4 stuff that they are reducing again. Across the board. Ports, let's have a look at ports. Not really that huge. Like, once again, they're just kind of all these unique upgrade cards. They're just reducing them. They're improving the combat. Like, yeah. They're just buffing all Age 4 cards across the board, it seems. Moving on to Russia. So I was hoping that there'd be quite a few buffs here, but looking at it, I'm not entirely sure. So we've got Strelets here. Line of sight has been increased to 18 from 16. Very nice. The Musketeer has been renamed to the Recruit, which is Recruit, I think, in Russian. I am learning Russian, but I haven't seen Recruit there, but that's added unique visuals as well. So the Musketeer looks different now for Russia. Halberdier has been renamed to Poruchik. Poruchik. So the Poruchik, yes, is and it's added new visuals, and it is now available in Age 2. Wow. So now Russia gets Halberdiers in Age 2. Okay. Note, these units always had lower combat values than the Musketeers and Halberdiers. In an effort to make these unique, more visible, obviously, that does make sense. It does make sense. They are different. I like it. I don't think that you need to change their name as such. I mean, just keep the name the same. Change the visual a little bit. It just makes things confusing, I think. Let's have a look at some of the cards. Got 4 Grenadiers, as we mentioned. We've got a lot of new cards here for Russia, I've just realised. Look at all of these. Jesus. Okay, so we've got 6 Poruchiks, which is, remember, what are they? Okay, so you get 6 Halberdiers in Age 2. That's really nice if you need to deal with Cav, which Russia are quite bad at. We got Boyars, the good old Boyars card. No longer affects Strelets, and they're calling them Streltsies, but they've actually called it Strelet up here. But the Strelets, but Cavalry Archers instead. So now, I think it's a 10%. It's going to be a 10% hit point and damage change for Cossacks and Cav Archers. And you get it in Age 2. I don't know. Like, it's a shame for Strelets, to be honest. They haven't really got much for them here. But let's have a look. Might be wrong. I am wrong. We've got the new order regiments here in Age 2. So that improves Strelets, Musketeers, and Halberdier HP and damage by 10%, which is basically the Boyars card. So I think this card is definitely going to be used in Age 2. This card could also be an option if you have a lot of Cav that you have to deal with. We have the Landed Gentry here. Enables Cav Archers to be trained in the Commerce Age in shorter train time and for wood instead of coin. Okay, that is nuts. So what happens when you go to Age 3? Then the coin cost, it becomes a coin cost? Maybe not. Maybe there's still wood. I don't know. This really does change Russia a lot. We got Piotr's toy soldiers. So this means in Age 4, your Musketeers damage and HP has been reduced, but card now also affects Grenadiers as well, and also Halberdiers. We've got Polk here, a new card. So I don't know what age it is, but apparently it's Musketeer HP increase, and they gain more HP from nearby infantry. That is insane, considering that Russia is a quantity basis of units, not quality. That is an insane card, but I don't know what age it is that you can get Polk. It doesn't actually say. Milutin here, or Milutin, yeah, Milutin reforms Milutin. Milutin reforms, turns recruits into Northern Guard Musketeers, costing population. Don't really know what Northern Guard Musketeers are. I assume they're probably going to be upgraded. And of course, it turns Cossacks into Tatar Archers. That's another Rebellion card here in Age 3. Oh my god. a team card here. I don't know what that one is, guys. I'm sorry. It's moved to age 1. It's another age 2 one. You get 2 grenadiers and artillery foundry. Oh my god, there's so much change to Russia. It's insane. I think overall, though, I think it's a buff. Because of all these infantry upgrades that you can get, you have the possibility to now get halberdiers in age 2. You can get them from the home city. You can get 6 of them to deal with Cav, which is really, really bad for Russia, like trying to deal with Cav. And having that now and the fact that you can actually train halberdiers. It's not even a card anymore. It's just, it is now available in age 2. You can get halberdiers if you want them. So there we go. Let's have a look at techs here. Once again, reformist SAR stuff here. I'm not going to go through this too much, but a lot of changes here. Once again, cost changes, and also now this is delivering these Schiavone-like infantry instead of guard hussars. Okay, wow. Okay. Just going to have a quick swig because this is actually taking a lot longer than I thought. Thought this would be a quick video, guys, honestly. Spain. Spanish gold. Fixed several instances where the cards available did not work. Okay. Garoquistas. Unique Lancer upgrade cost has now been reduced. Once again, they're just reducing age 4 stuff. I keep saying it, but it just keeps happening. This wild geese one, I don't even know what these cards are, guys. I'm going to be honest. But this one's been moved to age 3. The cost has remained the same. It ships 20 Irish brigadiers instead of 10 arquebusiers. Enables Irish brigadiers the Mintavas and improves their movement and attack speed. I mean, that is kind of crazy, isn't it? 20 Irish brigadiers, and you can also train them, but it does cost 2,000 food. I don't know. It's going to be an age 3 card, though. And maybe there's potential there. I'm not too sure. Overall, I think there is a slight buff there to Spain with their older sort of age 4 cards, but nothing huge. So the Swedes, Sheikh's main civ. Let's have a look here. He's probably not going to like this. Carolians, cost increase. They are currently, according to stats, they are pretty much the best civ at the moment in the game. So let's have a look. So cost has been increased, 65 food, 45 coin. So 5 extra on each there. Obviously, that's going to be a nerf. Negative melee damage multiplier toward riflemen has been changed to include all light infantry units. That's a nerf there, unfortunately, for Carolians. Yeah, because the Carolians used to be able to charge and then melee light infantry, and they used to do quite a bit of damage. So they've now put a negative melee damage multiplier against them. I don't agree with that, because I think Carolians with their charge ability means that if you get too close to them, you can lose light infantry. Even though light infantry counters Carolians, if you get too close to them and they charge you, then the nature is that they can get their sword out and they can take you down. And I like that. And I think that putting another negative multiplier means that that's not going to be as effective. Leather cannon, no longer tagged as gunpowder trooper. Don't really know if that has any issue. Train time has been increased quite significantly there, to be honest. That's like a 15% jump. Damage multiplier against heavy cavalry has been reduced, so nerfs there for the leather cannon. Hacker pellets has also... Oh no, the negative damage multiplier of 0.7 has been increased. Yes, that has been nerfed. The torp has been nerfed quite significantly. Look at that build time increase there. 3 seconds. That's 20% nearly increase on the time there to build a torp, which is not good. Cards. Line Grenadiers in age 3 has been added to the home city. So does that mean that this is a new card? I guess. I don't really know what Line Grenadiers is. Doesn't really explain it. They've obviously renamed this card, which is the Foundry Wagon and the Leather Cannon. This is quite a popular one to go for in age 2 that I see Sheikh going for. They've obviously renamed it to something that no one can pronounce. I just love this. It's just like the Ulita Stutzkbrück. The Ulita Stutzkbrück. There it is. I honestly, I don't know. I just don't get it. I sort of do, I sort of don't. I understand why they're doing it, but still, it's just frustrating. Germany mercenary contracts in age 4 improves damage and HP of the mercenaries, and that's another nerf there from 25 to 20. That's big. So look at some techs. Once again, reducing age 4 stuff, nothing new, so that's buffs there for that. But overall, Swedes have taken a bit of a hit. You know, Corollians cost more, they don't do as much damage against light infantry. Leather cannons take longer, they're not as good against heavy cav. Torps take longer to build. So yeah, nerfs all round there for Swedes. United States, the German immigrants. Such a popular card by A's being used. Settler wagons are now trainable from the Commerce Age. Wow. That is kind of nuts, isn't it? Wait, settler wagons are now trainable from the Commerce Age when you get this card. And it delivers a homestead wagon. I think that's what it already did. Cost of 200 wood has been added. I still think that's so good for United States. Now they can train settler wagons. We talk about that. So Ace's kind of mill build is actually going to be even better, I think, with this. The Oklahoma Black Mesa cost has been increased. Okay, a little bit of a nerf there. Kentucky Hunters no longer increases the Alhoot range, but ships 5 instead. Interesting. I'm just looking at any of the other ones that I know about. I don't know about any of the others, I'm afraid, guys. I'm sorry. I'm going to have to move on. There's some revolutionary stuff here as well. All the different revolutions. I'm not going to go through these, guys. I'm sorry. And that is it for these Civ changes. Random maps, map set changes have been added for team maps here. And there's a few changes here on a couple of the maps here. But what I want to see is I want to see quickly a few comments. Oh, there's no comments. That's it. That's all we've got on this page. But there we go, guys. We're going to leave it there. Mixed reviews, really. To be honest, I like the fact that they're changing a few of the Explorer skins. I don't really agree with all the changes of the Explorers. The weird kind of Age 4 cards, all of them across all civs have been reduced. Like, they're cheaper. Some of them are faster to get in. I don't know about that. What's that going to mean for the kind of meta and how things play out? I don't really know. Russia has had a complete overhaul. Being able to make halberdiers, which is just mind-boggling. Haudenosaunee has had a pretty good buff as well, to be honest, with the yield from trees. I think it's kind of nuts. I think Haud is still going to be a good civ to play. India has had widespread nerfs, not going to be as strong. And Swedes, of course. But there we go. I could go on forever. Guys, of course, let me know down in the comments below what you think about this. What do you think they could potentially change, could add, could remove? I'm not a huge fan about this whole name-changing stuff. I don't know what you guys think about that. Maybe that's just me. I think it just complicates things for new players, for existing players. I don't know. But I will catch you in the next video or the next stream. I'll leave all this down in the link below. Catch you later, guys.